Yeah, it's quite a film. That's the trailer for SAS Red Notice, stars Sam Heughan, and based on the novel by Andy McNab. McNab is one of the most highly decorated operators in the history of the SAS, and he's one of only two people since World War II to receive both the Military Medal and the Distinguished Conduct Medal. So, the fact that Sam was to play a character based on Andy's experiences might have been just a wee bit daunting. I caught up with Sam earlier, and I started by asking him to give us a quick overview of the film.
My character, Tom Buckingham, is he's a SAS officer. He's going to Paris with his fiancée to propose, and it sounds very simple, but it's not, because there's a bunch of mercenaries on the train that are taking it over for their nefarious reasons. But yeah, he's on there, and he wants to protect the people on the train, but also his fiancée.
Yeah, and the chaos then ensues. This all comes from the pen of Andy McNab, of course. How much did you know about Andy? And did you know, and as I was reading this in my notes, that he's been diagnosed as a good functioning psychopath? I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, firstly, yes, I mean, I knew of him from Bravo 20, and I'd read some of his books, his experiences in the military, and been fascinated by that. But yeah, the reason I jumped on board is because obviously Andy has been diagnosed as that, and that's my character, Tom, without giving away too much in the movie, is also a good psychopath. And at first when I heard that, I was like, well, do I even believe this? What is that? And the more time I spent with him, the more I read about it. It's fascinating, to learn that there are a great number of functioning good psychopaths in the world, in the military, but also as doctors, as lawyers, surgeons, people that have to function in very stressful situations. And yeah, it's kind of the crux of the movie. It's about this guy realizing that there's something wrong with him. He's always known it. He doesn't know what it is. And he realizes, I'm a good psychopath.
You're pipped opposite Ruby Rose in this film, who is perhaps not as good and functioning a psychopath, perhaps. So the sort of skills that you have, or as Tom, your character has, this gives you a kind of equal grounding, if you like, to try and psych each other out.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, this movie, because, traditionally, I mean, there's good guys and bad guys, but actually the reality of it, and it's very much based in the world today, in the military and the government, is that actually there are very, very gray areas, and it's really about morality and which side you're fighting for in this game. There is no good and bad, and yes, Tom is, he's fighting on the side of the good guys, but he has this ability, and he could become equally like Grace, like Ruby's character. He could become a bad guy because he has this ability, and she does indeed give him that opportunity at one point to join her.
You've never really shied away from the sort of role, the action role, if you like. We've seen what you've done on screen before, but this one in particular, given that it's SES, you're playing an SES operative. And I believe you got a bit of training from the guys as well. What was that like? Yeah,
amazing. I spent a lot of time pre-production with Andy, either on the phone. I mean, I was talking to him one point. He's running the Brecon Beacons with a Bergen, racing against the Royal Marines. He's a sort of late 50s-year-old guy, and he's on the phone to me talking about making movies and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just very matter of fact. So we did a lot of military stuff, in Leeds, in an airsoft place. We learned about using military equipment, to clearing out rooms, to how to deal with a tactical situation. Yeah, even I worked a lot in South Africa with a special forces guy, working with all the weaponry and stuff. So I guess every boy's dream a little bit, like to do all that, but great fun, and so fun to learn about that world and the tactical side of it.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I was watching it. Was this kind of your end game when you were sitting there, as a student at the Conservatoire in Glasgow, one day I would just like to be up there on the screen playing this all action SES kind of hero. Was that always part of what you wanted to be and where you wanted to go?
I guess so. I've done a lot of action stuff recently, and I was growing, even when I was at the Conservatoire, remember watching Band of Brothers, and there's, James McAvoy in there, and all these, people. And I was like, God, I always wanted to do a war film so this was brilliant. And I think what's so fun about this movie, it's not just your stereotypical action movie. There is this really interesting moral question posed of all the characters. And I don't think anyone in this movie is a good person. They've all got mixed levels of where their loyalties lie. So yeah, so not only is it great fun action-wise, but also as a character, it's a really great character study.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about as you go as well. It's in your face, and obviously, given that we talked about Andy McNab, and sometimes when somebody writes a book, they sell the rights, and it becomes a screenplay, it becomes a film, and that's it. But I'm guessing just by what you've said about him before, he was involved in this and had a part to play while it was getting made.
Oh yeah, I mean, as I said, from pre-production, I was many meetings with him. He worked very, very closely with the writer Larry Malkin, and then on set he was our military advisor, so he was there every day. And I mean, fascinating, this man. He would be, talking to the armorers, working out, making sure everything is right. He would be on set. His energy is boundless, but also a character study for me. I mean, the man, he used to, at lunchtime, he'd wolf down his food as fast as he could, and then lie down on the set and fall asleep right there in front of you and just get a nap. So then he'd be back up for after lunch break to go again. And I don't know, just a different way of functioning, a different, very practical, very driven, very focused way of operating. And yeah, what a man to learn from.
And the film itself, without giving too much away, it kind of leaves things open at the end. There's a certain element of unfinished business, let's just say. Are there plans for more? I mean, I know he's written more books in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see where it goes. By the end of this movie, really, it's just the introduction. I mean, Tom realized by the end of the movie that, oh, that's why I feel this way. That's why I'm so different. It's because I have this ability. I am a good psychopath. But not only that, there's a step further in that, and I won't give away too much because it's a bit of a spoiler. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what then Tom does with that information and that newfound ability. He's like, oh, I am this, and I think it will give him great power. So it'd be cool to see a sequel.
I mean, looking at the films that you have managed to make in between film and Outlander, things are really pushing on for you in this particular direction. Is there going to come a point where, you pick between movies and Jamie and continuing the journey with Outlander?
They're never going to be in competition, I don't think, but certainly I've been lucky to be able to, fit things in between Outlander, because Outlander is so all-consuming. I mean, yourself, it's a long job and then it's full on. So lucky that I managed to fit that movie in. And I just did a movie last year with sort of romantic comedy with Celine Dion. So kind of great that I managed to piece these things in. So I'd love to keep doing other things and keep exploring other characters as well, because I think it's really important for me to play other characters. Not just play the ginger-haired guy.
Nicely dealt with. You didn't give me too much there. I've got to pull you up on the Celine Dion. Give us a bit more on that.
Yeah. So it's a romantic comedy. The working title at the moment called Text for You. It's with Priyanka Chopra, who's just a brilliant actress, and Celine Dion is in the movie, and she'll be, I think, providing some music for it as well. So yeah, hopefully out next year.
And just before we finish, I know how big a deal it was. And again, just quickly touching on the Outlander experience, the Outlander fans and what they did for in your name for the Lyceum and Theatre in Edinburgh, which I know is very important.
Yeah, it is. I came from theatre, obviously, in the Lyceum, and the fans are brilliant. They've been constantly supportive of us, and they got together and they did, I think it was a save a seat for Sam, and people could donate the price of the ticket. And I think, I don't remember the total now, it could be around £80,000 that they raised for the Lyceum. So hopefully, that will help the theatre and keep people going, because obviously theatres are really struggling right now. But hopefully soon we'll see the doors open again.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get to be able to see you in a cinema as well,
great.
Which is obviously what we're waiting for too. Sam, always a treat to speak to you on the afternoon show. Thanks for taking time to speak to us today.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks, pal. Good to see you.